All right, good evening, everyone. Today is Thursday, March 19th, 2026, and this is a meeting of the Milford School Committee. We're starting our evening tonight with recognition of Class of 2026 Superintendent Award recipients.
Okay, we have several recipients on hand today. We have 3 different awards that we are going to be presenting. The first one is the Worcester County Superintendents Association Scholars Award. That one is an award presented to seniors recognized for their high academic achievement and commitment to academic excellence. Students will attend the annual Scholars Luncheon next week. That's Wednesday at Holy Cross with myself and Principal Ottland. The students who were awarded that are Anna Julia Pereira and Luke Stokowski. I don't know do we want to do this an award at a time, or do you want me to bring them up all together?
Do one at a time. There's quite a few.
Okay. So Anna and Luke, I don't know, where is Luke here? All right. See right over there. I have a little to say about both of them. This is an excerpt that came from a recommendation letter from their guidance counselors. So first is Anna. Anna's success is not the result of circumstance, but of resilience, discipline, and an unwavering commitment to her goals. Anna is an exceptional scholar, earning a 4.6 GPA in the title of co-valedictorian of the class of 2026. Beyond academics, Anna is a thoughtful, principled, and deeply responsible young woman. She approaches her responsibilities with humility and care, earning the respect of both peers and faculty. Anna Pereira exemplifies what it means to overcome adversity while maintaining integrity, academic excellence, and a strong sense of purpose. So that's Anna. This is Luke. Luke's academic record reflects both intellectual curiosity and perseverance. He consistently challenges himself with the most rigorous coursework available. Music, however, is where Luke's passion and purpose truly shine. A gifted vocalist and dedicated performer, he has been a 4-year member of the school's concert and chamber choirs, earning the Milford High School Choir Director Award and representing our school at Central Districts and the Massachusetts All-State Choir. This distinction reflected his exceptional talent and discipline. Luke's character is defined by his blend of artistry, intellect, and heart. So that's Luke. We have, it's the red awards, right? I believe we have these awards that we want to give both of them. I'll just read what it says. Basically, it says the person, Anna's name or Luke's name, having duly qualified under the standards prescribed by the Worcester County Superintendents Association, is hereby awarded this Scholar Award. So both of them get that, and then we're going to lunch together. So I don't know if anybody has questions. You want to hand those down?
Of course. Questions or comments?
Go ahead.
You want to go first?
I'm going to wait. No.
You're the best at Legion Hall.
Thank you so much.
So congratulations to you both. He summarized it, but obviously that's years and years and years of hard work and dedication. So I hope I'm like tearing up hearing about you both. So I hope you feel very proud. I'd love to hear what's next, where you're headed, and I'm sure that's just the first of many accolades coming your way.
Yeah.
Next year, I am attending New York University, and I'm majoring in music business. I'm hoping to get into the live music setting in the future.
We can't wait to come watch you.
Thank you.
I'm attending Wesleyan University in Connecticut, and I'm double majoring in biology and neuroscience on a pre-med track.
Wow, that's incredible. We spend a lot of hours in this room, and sort of like the highlight of our existence is like hearing just how well our students succeed. So thank you for being here, and congrats on all your hard work.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, just congratulations. If you feel like you have a story that you want to share about and a good memory from your time here, you can do that now, or if you don't have something that comes to mind, it's totally fine too.
I think personally my best memories are always with like choir related stuff, and doing the musicals every year is always so awesome too. It's just like a really great community that we've built over the years.
I think my best memory has definitely been meeting new people. I founded the Activated Faith Club, and it's so fun to see like the diversity and the amount of people that like to come and share their experiences in the school.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Great representation of Milford. Timeline. It's been a long journey here, but I'm excited for the future for you, and I'm just proud to call you guys Milfordians.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming tonight, and you know, thank you for the 4 years you've been here and all your accomplishments.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Congratulations. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hope it's a good lunch.
Lunch with Craig is always a treat.
Thanks. We need to take a picture with you.
All right.
You're all welcome to take a picture of us if you want.
I can take
You tell me. You're the artist.
Well, I'm super tall.
I don't know where we're looking at.
If you want to walk in, go ahead. Just obviously watch the chords, but.
All right, I got them up.
Good. All right, next. Next, we have the National School Development Council Academic Growth in Student Leadership and Learning Award. This award is a prestigious recognition for high school seniors who demonstrate consistent academic improvement, dedicated effort, and positive leadership, character, and integrity within their school community. We had 2 winners of this award. The first, Natalie Cerritos, and second is Lucas Gomes. So, come on up. I think Lucas was not able to come. I'll talk about Lucas real quick. Lucas was unable to make it tonight, but Lucas has demonstrated remarkable determination with his academics and school community. His ability to balance his coursework is a testament to his strength and character. Beyond academics, Lucas is a bright, personable young man whose positive attitude is truly contagious. He approaches challenges head-on, never allowing setbacks to define him. The second is Natalie. Natalie is a sincere, compassionate, and dependable young woman who has demonstrated remarkable resilience throughout high school, navigating significant challenges that tested her strength and perseverance. Despite facing added responsibilities outside of school, from a young age, she has continued to balance work, extracurricular involvement in her academics with dedication and maturity. Natalie considers making it through high school her greatest accomplishment, an achievement she takes great pride in given the obstacles she has overcome along the way. Natalie will be the first in her family to attend college with aspirations spanning computer engineering, healthcare, and cosmetology. So Natalie's with us today. Natalie gets this award from the National School Development Council. So hand that down to Natalie. And this is Natalie. Congratulations, Natalie.
Thank you.
I don't know if anybody has any comments, questions.
Want me to
Oh,
start?
yeah, please.
Congratulations, Natalie. Like I asked before, do you have like any memories that you want to share, or If nothing comes to mind, it's totally okay too.
Nothing comes to mind.
Okay. Well, congratulations. We're very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
We need more people who have compassion and have integrity and are driven, and it seems like you exemplify that. And so I just really thank you for being here, and I'm happy that you received this award.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Natalie. As a parent, there's so many things that you want to teach your children, and I think the hardest to teach them is grit, and it sounds like that's something that you have in spades. So congratulations to you for everything that you've made it to. Congrats on heading to graduation. Do you know where you're headed next year?
I plan to attend Framingham State University and majoring in computer science.
Congratulations. My mom went there. It's a great school. Good luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Good luck at Framingham State.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Congratulations.
Are you ready?
I want a picture of Craig.
Good. All right, congratulations. Yeah, we'll do what I can after, okay? I'm gonna get the books. Okay, our final award tonight is the MASS Certificate of Academic Excellence. This is an annual award presented to high-achieving high school seniors who demonstrate distinguished academic performance, leadership, and significant contributions to their school communities. First, we have Giovanna Weiner. Giovanna embodies the best of what we hope in all of our students. She's collaborative, creative, hardworking, courageous, and industrious. Her intellectual curiosity and self-discipline have driven her success across a rigorous schedule of AP and honors coursework. She has earned the honor of being named co-valedictorian of the class of 2026, yet what distinguishes her most is her relentless pursuit of meaning. She seeks understanding, not just grades, as well as impact, not just achievement. So Giovanna's up here, and then our old pal Anna and Julia Pereira, come on back. We already know all about Anna. So they both get this certificate. This is from the Massachusetts Association of School Superintendents, and it just hereby awarded the Certificate of Academic Excellence. So both of them get this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, ladies.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll kick it off from last time. Congratulations. Do you have a favorite memory that you want to share?
I think working with my video production class to put on the lip dub. That's something that we work really, really hard on all year, and watching it come to fruition, that was like last week, was so rewarding. It was a lot of fun.
Is the video ready?
No. That'll come out in May.
Okay.
We're still, polishing the edges and stuff,
Understood. Video production was one of my favorite classes too in high school. Yeah, different story, different time. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Admiration for both of you. Thank you for everything. Also, I just want to side note, not to take away from you, parents. Thank you for everything you've done. I know how hard it is. The driving kids around, just the dedication that you have to have for your kids to also succeed. Thank you for that. Just congratulations for making the journey, getting to the finish line.
Thank you.
Yeah, congrats on so much hard work. Giovanna, do you know where you're headed next year? Would you be willing to share?
I don't know yet. I
Excellent.
did a lot of regular decisions, so
Yep.
I have to hear back this week and next week, so I'm really practicing my patience.
It
but,
will be great. It'll be worth the wait. Do you know what you want to study?
I want to do film and media studies.
Very cool. Excellent. I look forward to seeing your products. in the
Thank
future.
you.
Congratulations and good luck in the future.
Thank you.
Congratulations, good luck in the future. And anybody know what the countdown to the last day of school is?
It's 74 days.
Okay. That's good.
For
That's
us,
all.
it's 38, I think.
Okay.
For school days.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Counting weekends and break.
Great.
Thanks for coming. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, you ready?
Last one.
Yes.
Shoes on back.
I know.
Fall.
Oh my gosh.
Embarrassing. All right, we need everybody back. We can take one big piece. We also have these fine notebooks for you. They had come to the pen, so when you have just that thought, write it down. Maybe they knew. There you go. Yeah. All right, move down. Move down. Do we look centered, or do we need to move around a little?
Matt needs to go out a little
Peggy,
bit.
can you go that way a little bit
Yep,
more?
and then move in a little bit. Yep, perfect, where Matt is.
Thank you.
I got enough the other way.
Good. Oh, over here.
It's me.
I got you.
Beautiful moment.
Absolutely. Right. Yes. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, folks, you're welcome to stay.
It's a great time.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. No,
I completely forgot. My fault. Here yesterday.
We good?
Very good.
All right. That'll bring us next to our.
Good night. Congratulations.
We'll go next to the student representative update with Emily Janssens.
Okay, so to start off, I just want to give a quick update on the leaky roof situation. So a couple weeks ago, we installed what is essentially a gutter system. We have panels, funnels the water down to a trash can. And I'm happy to report that on Monday, when it was particularly rainy, I had no issues. There was no water. There was no trash cans in the hallways. So
the
seems like a
aqueduct worked.
functional, yeah, seems like a functional solution for now.
Good on Carlos.
And then moving on to some more general updates, we have a couple dances coming up. Sophomore semi is tomorrow night. Juniors have prom in less than a month. That's on April 10th. And then Best Buddies has their last dance of the year on March 26th. Our student leadership is currently running a Lucky Duck fundraiser. So there's a bunch of small rubber duckies hidden around the school. And if you find one, you win Wookiees and an entry into a raffle. Unfortunately, I have not been a lucky duck yet. I haven't found one. But, you know, if you see one on your way out,
Keep an eye out.
you know where to find me.
No, I've seen all kinds. Okay, now I know.
And then we're also working on a Decorate a Hallway fundraiser. So each grade gets assigned a different hallway in the building and a different season of the year, and their objectives to decorate their hallway for their season. And then a panel of judges, or teachers, I guess, will vote on the best hallway, and that class wins a cash prize for their class council. Testing-wise, it's MCAS season, so 10th graders have their English MCAS next week, I believe, and then they'll have math, and freshmen have MCAS too. For sports, we officially kicked off spring season, which is kind of hard to believe, and it's still really cold out, so it's not very fun. Games and meets will start next week or the week after that. And then for music, we had 2 concerts this week. Band had their vertical concert on Tuesday, and then orchestra had theirs on Wednesdays, and both were very successful. Now the music department is getting ready for their trip in April. And that's pretty much all I have tonight.
What about your being part of the vision?
Oh, for the building project. Yeah, we have a big meeting next week. I got to tour some other schools a couple weeks ago, all very interesting. I'm starting to see like the vision of like, wow, this is really happening, even though I'm not going to be here when it happens, but very exciting. Yep, a lot going on. So,
Any comments or questions?
So I panicked the other night. I mean, when someone said there was a vertical string concert because my 4th grader plays strings, and I was like, but the 3rd and 4th grade couldn't do it because there's so many,
I know,
which I
they
just thought was
cut them
an
this
awesome
year.
problem to have. So I love that.
I know.
I'm also curious: is there any different vibe in MCAS season given the graduation requirement has been removed? Just curious.
I definitely feel like maybe some students aren't taking it as seriously now that they know like they don't actually have to pass to graduate, but it still seems like students want to do well because you're sitting for a test for 3 hours. You might as well try. So yeah,
Excellent.
but
Thanks. Just curious.
yeah.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks for the updates. Hopefully you find a doctor.
I hope so.
What trip is the music department going on?
They are going to Hershey Park. So they'll spend a couple days in the park, and then one day will be like a competition performing. So
Great.
unfortunately, I'm not going, but
So, I mean, as always, thank you very much for coming in to give the updates. You know, you gave the update of the preventative maintenance that we've done on the roof. How like is the general feel around school? You know, that was something that we as school committee always kind of want to hear about. You know, you talk about the different events that are going on. Like just from a day-to-day standpoint, do you feel like, is it a good vibe going on around school, or do you feel like, you know, if certain things were to improve, it could help betterment the vibe?
yeah, I think from my experience, I definitely have a good vibe going on when I go to school. There are definitely some things, especially after going on those tours of other schools, that I'm a little envious of. I kind of wish we had more spaces to work on projects outside of classrooms, more like little meeting spaces where we could kind of pull out from classes and have that area to work, or even after school. But as it is right now, it works. I think students are happy. Students are fine as it is right now. People's moods are getting a little bit better now that it's spring or getting warmer. So,
Great. And I'm assuming, yeah, based on that feedback of seeing other schools that you are providing that feedback to the group, like, hey, I see these great breakout spaces that would be great for our new school.
yes, definitely.
Great. Thank you.
One more thing. You went to Spain, right?
I did go to Spain.
How was that?
I had the best time.
Awesome.
It was a great group. We had so much fun. Like, the group of Americans that went, like, we all became like best friends.
Awesome.
And then we also became best friends with everyone in Spain. So
Perfect.
it was so much fun. And I learned so much. Yeah.
Was this a school trip?
Yes, it was the exchange program for 2 weeks. So we stayed in Malaga with host families.
Great.
Very cool.
The only thing I'll add is I was at that concert last night, the strings concert. That's just so many kids with violins and sticks inside a gym. When they said that they couldn't include 3rd and 4th because there was over 100 strings players in each grade, plus the 70-something 5th graders that were there. It was wild, but it's really cool. My daughter's in 5th grade, and to watch them while you guys were playing, just kind of sit there with their mouths open like, how are they doing that? It's
Yeah.
amazing to see them looking up to you guys, and as you went around the room, watch the skills progress, and it's just really cool to watch them look up to you guys. You guys did a fantastic job. So.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, that one's always one of my favorites because when you're younger, you kind of look into the future like, whoa, that's going to be me in a couple years. And then for me now, it's like, whoa, that was me a couple years ago. So, yeah.
Awesome. Anything else?
I have a suggestion. Do you mind staying for the MSBA update and explain?
Yeah.
It's pretty short. But
We'll be there quick.
Yeah, because I want to talk about the visioning. It'd be nice to hear your
Yes.
feedback of why you're involved and et cetera.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Yeah, we won't be long.
All right. Oh, there's nothing for invitation to speak, so we can skip that. Does anybody have announcements, correspondence, or distribution? So the only thing I'm going to toss out in the announcement space, I looked at the calendar. We have one more meeting before reorg of the school committee, and this is something I meant to bring up last year and the year before, and I continue to fail. But
Quick.
it did come quick. Just asking people to think about what their schedule looks like and allows for the following year, and if you're interested in taking over anything, certainly think about it. We'll just bring it up next meeting, just so that everybody can be aware of kind of where we're going, because I believe there's no opposition, right? So this is the group, my understanding. So
As long as Brendan and I make it to election day.
that would be ideal. So just keep that in mind. All right. We'll move on from that one now.
Fair enough.
I do not have any update, the chairperson update, so we can go to the MSBA project update, which Chris and Michael said they would
Yeah.
happily take over.
Why don't you give yours first?
Okay, great. Catch me off guard. So, as you know, the architect's on board now. So basically the architect is now going through really what you would call the feasibility study. They're looking at the current school, they're mapping out our current school, they're looking at the entire site. So what is buildable, what is not buildable. They will eventually come to us and present our different grade configurations that we asked for, 7 through 12, 8 through 12, 9 through 12, with comprehensive, without comprehensive. So, and within each one of those, multiple options of renovation of this current facility, renovation build, or all new build. So as you can imagine, each one has its own set of kind of hurdles to get through. So right now, not a lot of involvement from the committee side, from the structural aspects of it or the decision making, but come around end of May to beginning of June, that's when you'll start seeing the building committee being presented with options, and with those options, kind of which pathway the building committee would like to see the architect focus on. So pay attention to kind of those meetings. They are televised, so you will be able to see kind of what's going on, what the architect is presenting. And that's all based on going to be other input from the visioning committee that these guys can speak to.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Two questions on that. Can you remind me, how is the pricing structure for the feasibility done? Like, is it a up to, is it a maximum?
Yeah, so
What is-
basically, yeah, we had set aside, a certain amount of funds, so negotiating with the architectural firm basically had to stay within the funds available.
So it's a maximum of up to, depending,
Correct,
okay,
yes,
got it.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
they have a target ETA for delivering said?
As far as these options, so yeah, we have our next MSBA meeting, I believe in mid-June timeframe or late June.
Mhm.
Yes, June 18th.
Yeah.
Yeah, June 18th, we have some for submissions of
Great,
what pathways we're gonna
excellent,
be looking at.
awesome,
yes.
thank you.
So, and I'd say the one critical thing that we need to be aware of, and I don't know exactly how this is going to work, the 7 through 12, 8 through 12 options, right? The 8 through 12 was on the statement of interest. The 7 through 12 was basically, we presented that because, hey, we're building a facility, just say, right? We know that Stacy Middle School is kind of the next on the list. Is there any going to be economical advantage of building a 7 through 12? And what are those cascading pros and cons there? Ultimately, it may come down to us as school committee members being a part of that decision process and working with our administration and kind of guiding the building committee on what our thoughts are regarding a potentially moving from a 7 through 12 facility and again, what that would entail. So just wanted everybody to be aware of that, so if they do hear that, you know, they're not surprised, like, well, wait a minute, I didn't know I was gonna be part of that decision. So, again, still trying to work through exactly how that will be, but that was mentioned at last night's building committee meeting, so.
Any more questions on it?
Just to clarify,
Yeah.
is pre-K still
Yeah.
included?
Sorry, and always, yes,
Yeah,
pre-K
just
is
want-
always in there, so I apologize for
No, I just
not
wanted-
saying that.
Let me
Yep.
just
Yeah.
add one thing, I think. This is the way I understood it, so if either of you understood it a different way. There's basically gonna be 18 options, right? You have 9 through 12, 8 through 12, 7 through 12. Then you have renovation of all the, like, this place, then you have add reno, then you have all new build, and all those combinations of all the different ones. And then it gets whittled down from there, and eventually it's down to 3, then down to 2, down to 1. So that's sort of the process, but to Chris's point, the way I understood it is you all have a very important part in the way that this our district is going to move forward with grade configurations. So 7 to 12, 8 to 12, or 9 to 12. So I think that's coming up soon, right? That it sounded like that decision is going to have to be made within the next
But June,
month and a half, even
we're-
before that.
we're gonna have to take a vote in probably May.
Yeah. So
Formal, well, informal.
So that's something that maybe we should, I think, start talking about in future meetings.
Sorry, Greg, you're making that decision before you have the study report, or no?
No, so
We're gonna have the options, I think.
Okay.
it's to give the guidance, do you mind?
Go,
Yeah,
go
it's to
ahead.
give, so the architect needs some guidance to start to build things out, right?
Mhm.
And so one of the, since in the SY we put 7th grade in there, and the MSB is like, sure, but you have to pay for it.
Got it.
We have to tell the architects what we as school committee and the building committee to focus in on. And one of the big decisions, it's not committal, is
Included on.
the 7th grade. So
Okay.
school committee, we could vote, be like, we're definitely not doing it, but study it, or, you know, we want to do it, doesn't mean we're going to. So it's just kind of a,
Okay.
you know, so we're not there yet. But yeah, there'll be some information from the architects before we vote on it. And it's not a commit, it goes into the name for the report. And by the end of June, we have to submit the education plan. It's like a huge document where the architects, where it all compiles. But this is, it's the start of the process, if that makes sense.
I'm good on my side.
Yeah, so speaking of all this, the fun stuff is the architects came in and they formed a vision committee through you know, Craig and the group, and Emily's on it, which is kind of cool. So I'd like her to talk about her experience. I kind of invited myself and said, "Hey, Craig, can I hop on a school bus and visit some schools?" Because I haven't seen some of these new schools, and this group was going. It's a mixture of administrators, teachers, and students, and some parents. And I got to be you know, a third wheel and kind of observe. And I have to say, it was pretty awesome because you got to see different designs. So like we went to Attleboro, which was designed by a different group, and functional. If you've ever been to Attleboro, it's massive, super functional, but it feels very industrial. And then we got to go see, like, there was a middle school, and I can't remember where. Weymouth, yeah, where HMFH designed, and you go to that school, super functional, but like it felt warm and comforting, and like, you know, and then we got to go see a vocational school, Bristol Plymouth, that was being built, not finished. And it was really interesting to talk to the designers and be like, okay, so we went to Attleboro, which is very industrial, but super functional, like really cool stuff. But then we went to this middle school, which was just as functional, but it felt like an education facility. And the lead designer, I can't remember her name. Anyways, she was telling me that they really focus in on materials. Like their big theme for their architecture firm is materials that feel like education. And when you went into this elementary school, you felt it. Like kind of like when you walk in Woodland, you feel it. So it was really neat, kind of seeing the different feels and you know, and also their iterations. So this middle school was built after Woodland. So to see how their firm has even has gotten better and iterated. So it was really neat. It was a great experience for me, and then we had students. So I'd love Emily to give you what is your purpose in this vision committee?
Yeah, so I think my purpose in this vision committee is to give my input as a student, because I think there are definitely some things that I notice about the school or other schools, things that I like from a student standpoint that some adults or teachers just don't think about. I know one thing that I brought up to some of my teachers that went on the trip with me was how I have a hard time studying at home because I just get distracted. I can procrastinate really easily, and so like having a nice study space at school is something that I think a lot of students would really benefit from, and like they had never thought about that because I don't know. So also I think what really stood out to me on the trips was the vocational side, because obviously we don't have that here. I've never been to a school with all like where you step into a classroom and it feels like you're not in a classroom anymore. It feels like you're out in the real world, like in a hospital or in some sort of lab. So it was really interesting to see that side of education, and I think that's going to be really beneficial to our school, where there's a lot of kids who aren't going to pursue a higher level of education. One thing that really stuck out to me was they were showing me all of these vocational aspects and all these things, like you go and there's an ambulance in the school, and then they're talking about how now we're going to sit at this meeting and talk about all the things that we want for our school. But I had a hard time like coming up with things that we want for our vocational programs because we don't have them here. So I think that's kind of going to be like, I don't know, that's just one of my thoughts that I had, but.
Can I add on? So Emmy was part of half of the group that you went on. The other half of us were back here shadowing students. And that's what the rest of the half of the group, your half of the group, did today. We didn't have students shadow students, though. Kind of weird. So
that would have been
fun. We actually visited Durfee, which is in Fall River. We also went to Bristol Plymouth, and we also went to Weymouth. Bristol Plymouth is also an HMFH design. And I think going through Bristol Plymouth brought back a lot of memories for me of like the build over here at Woodland. In fact, the one of the people that was, well, many of the people that were on that job were on this Bristol Plymouth job, so it was like meeting up with old friends a decade later, which was kind of cool. But I think the most important role that students are going to have is in the actual, when we bring both groups together, which is the first meeting of that's going to be next week. It's an all-day event. All 40 people are going to be in the same room, but the students are going to lead a table of teachers and parents. So I think we have 10 students. So we'll have 10 different groups that the students will lead through, and you'll just basically talk about your experiences in this school, but all of the students also went through all those different schools. So trying to bring those ideas to light, I think that's going to be the critical part of what your job is. And then bringing it out of the adults, because I heard a lot of good comments from adults too, who, you know, our experience in school was very different than when you walk through these new high schools. So I think just hearing from everybody and then working with Josh and trying to put this plan together, the ed plan really drives what the building is going to look like. So trying to capture everybody's ideas in a way that you can put down on paper and then the architects can use and build a building that encapsulates everybody's ideas is the critical piece of this whole process. The reason why Woodland looks the way it does is because of the ed plan, because of all the things that we put in there about breakout spaces, about having small spaces outside of classroom spaces. All those different things were in the ed plan. So as Michael said, it's a very large document. So that's the work that's going to take place over the next, 6 to 10 weeks with Josh and I. So Josh is going to take the lead on it, and I'll support when I can, but it's a lot of work. And it's important work, though. It's the foundational work that will drive what the building looks like. So you do play an important role, and I hope you believe it. I know that the kids that we were with today had a lot of great questions and a lot of great comments, so I can only imagine that your group is the same way.
One last thing, and it's for a future agenda item. So last night at the building committee, so I've talked to our OPM, James, and we talked about the reimbursement rate, which is moving around, right? So the state reimburses us a percentage, and people have been talking about like 72%, and it's actually way more complicated than that. Mm-hmm. And so I asked James to the building committee to give kind of a tutorial, and I think he should come to the school committee as well too. Just give a little a tip or is that the reimbursement rate is up to what's a cap of what the MSBA will approve. So they might say for every 1,000 square feet or a square foot, they'll pay for $600. So that 72% is of that $600, not of the full build. So if we spend 1,000, they're only going to reimburse up to 600 and 72% of the 600. So the effective reimbursement rate, they call it, is the term, is actually somewhere south of 72%, right? And so I think we need to have James come in and talk about it, and then what is reimbursable, because not every square foot is reimbursable by the state. And so it's actually pretty complicated. I'm glad we have this whole team of people to help us figure this out, because there's a lot of tricks, and ways to make sure that you're complying. And the MSBA really wants an efficient building, so they don't want giant hallways, right? And so there's a percentage of that, and James can talk through it and whatnot, but I think it'd be great to have him come in and let us know, because I keep hearing people in the community talk about, it's being reimbursed at 77%, and I'm like, ooh, we need to start getting the word out. It's actually not that. It's still great, though. It's still huge. So when the architects asked us what the reimbursement rate that we got, their mouths literally dropped. They're like, we have never heard of a community getting 77%. So they're like, so even if the effective rate is a little bit lower, it's still a massive positive for us. So that's it.
Right. Any questions for Michael? Thank you both, all three of you, for that update. Actually, that was great. Probably the most informative, I think, MSBA update we've had yet, but it seems like these are going to start rolling in now.
But it just turned on.
Yeah.
Literally it just turned on. I think we're having, 3 meetings with the building committee in pretty quick succession now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think we scheduled about 8 to 10 meetings from now till mid-June.
Mid-June, yeah.
So it'll be.
We went from one every 3 months to.
You guys are busy.
Good thing you don't have anything else going on.
It literally just turned on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right,
You just
thank you.
live
Thanks
here
for
now?
sticking around. Anna.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Do you just live here now?
Well, those are at town hall.
Oh, even better.
I guess.
Just a little variety.
Yeah.
All right, you good there? We can go on to the 26-27 school calendar update. There will be
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
no vote on this, just so you know, it's an update only.
Okay, so I just want to give a brief update. Before we finalize it, I just want to get everyone's feedback on this. So in my, preliminary calendar, draft calendar, we're doing something a little different next year, or I'm hoping to do something a little different next year, where moving away from the traditional half days on the 4-day week, 3-day weekends, because frankly our attendance, staff and student wise, is not what it usually is. So having a regular day on those days, I hope, will make improvements there. Instead, what I'm planning to do is put in 5 different Tuesdays. Tuesday is traditionally our contractual day for our teachers. They stay an hour later on Tuesdays for professional development. But on those 5 different Tuesdays, so what we have here in our draft calendars in October, December, February, March, and May. We'll have early dismissals. So we'll take the kids through lunch at Milford High School in Stacy. We'll dismiss around 12:50. That gives us the ability to have a good 3 hours of professional development time with our staff, but it also gives us the ability to provide lunch for our students and get them through most of the day. It's basically a little more than a period before their actual dismissal. At Woodland, it'd be around 1:20, and then at Memorial and Brookside, it would be 1:30. And then on those days, because of busing, we never had pre-K on half-a-days. We don't think that we're going to be able to do pre-K on these days either. Just because of the way the busing is, it'll turn out that the tiers won't line up. So we were trying to make it work, but it would add an additional cost if we tried to run pre-K on those days. So we probably will not have pre-K on that. But we're hopeful that it's on a Tuesday, it's not backed up to any holidays. Kids get lunch. It feels more like a full day. And hopefully the attendance stays about where it's at on usual days. So, and it also actually, believe it or not, provides us with more professional development time than we would have if we had the half-a-days. Because during the half-a-days, we still have to work in the prep, and we still have to work in lunchtime, so we actually lose time anyways. We're gonna try to create schedules where preps, lunch, all those things happen before kids are dismissed, and then on dismissal, it's all professional development time. So the only true half-a-day would be the last day of school. So that's something that we're gonna try this year. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts before we actually finalize what we were thinking.
I like the thought. I like the idea of it. I guess thinking about like stakeholders in this, parents who are going to be working now about childcare after school. It's a little bit more atypical for midweek, and then community use in the youth center, notifying them about those times, so that way they can maybe have extended hours those days to keep kids busy and in a safe environment.
Sure.
That's my only feedback.
Yeah, sure.
I had a question. It's not specifically about what you. I'm fine with everything that you just presented. And maybe I just remember. I think back in the day when I was in high school, we would advertise, or you would know like the last day of school was say June 20th, right? And we had the 5 snow days were built in, and then at some point, if you use it for the 5 snow days, you would get out earlier. I don't know if right. And it seems like we've moved away from that. And I was thinking about this because when you sign up for summer camps, you sign up, that here's the date you sign up. But now, if we don't advertise the last day, and then snow happens, it really kind of disrupts those plannings. I'm not sure. Is there a reason why we stopped doing that? And I'm not saying you did, but at some point along the way we did.
The way I always remember it is we've always had the 180th day, and then we've always identified the 5 days beyond that. This would be the last day of 5 days are used. You're suggesting that we just identify the 185th day and then come back and say, well, the actual day is...
If we don't use the 5 days, it says June 20th, maybe June 15th.
June 18th or whatever. I don't know, we could do it either way.
But it was just a thought. I mean, maybe.
Either way, we're making an announcement about the last day of school.
Yeah, and not for this year. I mean, for like.
Well, we do it anyways in April or May, or I don't remember exactly when. But when we think the snow is clear and with no more threat of snow, we make an announcement of when the last day would be.
Yeah, to follow what you're saying, it's just more of the 180 days plus or 185 minus, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I guess on the schedule, I know we do a lot of different coding of it, like color coding, or so I guess maybe it's showing on that schedule more a visual of here's day 180, here's day 185, could be kind of in that zone.
But it,
Right.
it needs to be really clear for parents.
Yeah.
Because like you sign up for camps in February, right?
Right. So,
For
yeah,
example, or
yeah.
daycare, or whatever
Right.
or family trips.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
June 10th is day 180. June 15th is day 185.
So you
right?
know that you're clear
Clearly
after,
on there.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Just a thought for going into not
Yeah.
this year, but more of the next planning for next year.
I think it could be designated just through kind of some type of descriptions on there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I think it's an interesting idea. Obviously, though, 185 could be 187 or 189.
I mean, maybe there's a way we could show it as
sliding scale either way.
snow day 1, snow day 2, snow day 3, snow day 4, snow day 5, something like that.
With a little footnote, if planning vacations, right? Or,
Yeah.
I don't know, but make it really clear, like, here's the last day of school, or
We
the
could go
potential
past
last
that,
day.
too.
Huh?
You could go past that too.
That's
But
super rare.
there are many
Yes,
districts actually around the state that have used more than 5 this year.
Some are canceling April vacation, or at least
Yeah.
Rhode Island, I heard.
Yeah.
The only other thing I was going to add to your point, Brendan, is what I like about the structure you're proposing is I actually think as a parent, this is better. We just had a half day. I dropped my last kid off. I had a dentist appointment. I was back at the school. I did nothing. It was awful. So even getting more into the 130 range, I think gives you a little bit more time. I know finding childcare midweek can be a little tricky, but for the most part, I think what I've experienced with other parents is finding coverage any day of the week, starting at 10:50, when some people are getting to work at 9 is brutal. So trying something different, I think, is a good idea. And I love that it's going to get more focused PD time. I know that the hours are probably a little shorter in the PD space, but when you have that focused time where the staff can just sit down and do that and not have to worry about all these other pieces. And it kind of just ties into a day they're already there anyway. It's going to feel like a normal routine compared to the chaos that I think a traditional half day has been giving everybody.
Brendan, to your point, does the youth center staff up and open, in a sense, open early on those these half days to offer the programs to?
I think it depends. I think it's something that we can discuss the next meeting
Okay,
to make sure
yeah.
that they can staff up for it.
Yep, curious. And to that point, I was, depending on your answer, is that something that, again, let's work with our community use director and be like, hey, these are the designated days, what can he open up, and can he staff up?
We do.
And add extra programs and make it allowable that kids can come in, they don't have to sign up for the entire year, entire semester, that these specific early release days, we have special programs, again, to help out families.
The one tricky part about, we do community use, but the one tricky part about community use is while we use students, there are adults that help supervise those programs, and those adults are teachers and teaching assistants, behavioral assistants. So it's hard for us to release. We really can't release them from their contractual duties to go work over here. So that's the one tricky part. I'm not sure how they work around it right now, honestly.
Just one question, Craig. Would you potentially plan on stacking the Tuesday half day against a Monday long weekend? That would be my only request, not to do that.
We're
I know
not
it's
doing it.
Okay, great, thanks.
Nope.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Perfect.
You nearly touched, 700 on Friday for the half day?
What's that?
For absences?
Yeah, it was not good.
Any other questions on the calendar for now? No? All right. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All right. I'm sorry.
No, you're up next. Report of the superintendent of schools is number 8. So
Thank you. I
Carry on.
wanted you to announce it.
there it is.
All right, I have 3. Hopefully they're quick, but I don't know if they will be. So I have an entry. Open up here. I just have real quickly, as I'm starting to kind of go through all the information I have for my entry plan, I'm starting to develop 4 themes. So I just wanted to go over those themes real quick with you before a presentation, which you could probably expect in a month or so. Just, I guess, with more detail than what I'm going to provide you today. So 4 themes that seem to be rising to the top are around academic excellence and equity, people and culture, operations and sustainability, communications and trust. So when I talk about academic excellence and equity, these are the kinds of things that are coming up over and over again. So mentioned more than one time, I would say, and then I kind of put them all into these buckets, if you will. So the idea of students having access to HQIM and qualified teacher, the need for district leadership positions to support HQIM and professional development, the idea of evaluating the programs that we're bringing in, that's come up a number of times. Our exceptional EL programming, meaning English learner programming, the gap between haves and have-nots widening across the district. That we're supporting students in a myriad of ways beyond just academics, mental health, with things like clothing, food, those sorts of things. Our MTSS process still needs more refinement. Attendance is still at top of mind of a lot of people, whether it's student attendance, but not only student attendance, but when you think of all of our different subgroups and what attendance looks like across subgroups. The idea that all kids need to secure basic literacy and math skills, and what are we doing for all students to make sure that we're secure with basic literacy and math skills, not just in elementary school, but all the way across our district. And then interventions and what sort of interventions we're putting in place. So those are some of the bigger buckets underneath that big category or the big theme of academic excellence and equity. And like I said, when I present for real, I'll bring you quotes and just sort of what people were thinking about that and maybe some data that goes with that. Theme 2 is around people and culture. Support staff. So one of the things that keeps coming up is the idea that our support staff need training to be able to support the students that they're working with. I think that maybe that's one of the ways that we can keep folks in our district too, is providing better training for them. To build the idea to build a culture of improvement and make sure that we're always thinking about how do we help kids grow, how do we do what we need to do for each individual student. The exceptional music and performing arts program that we have across our district. Our transitions from school to school, we need a little work with that, making sure that information is being passed along from one school to the other, but then goals and skills that kids are working on in one school, it doesn't just stop at that school, it continues at the next school. So how do we get that information from school to school? Keeping an eye on technology, cell phones, and building classrooms for discourse, making sure that kids aren't just locked in on computers all day, and we're talking and communicating around all things learning. Behavior management and building classrooms that support student learning, especially at our elementary level. We have been working on that this year, but we will continue to work on that. Transparent decision making. We have made improvements around that, and it's been coming out in some of the discussions that I've had with different folks, whether it's in focus groups or one-to-one, but still ways to go there. And then making sure that we're making decisions with students in mind, not just what's the new fad of the day or new curriculum of the day, but what do we need to provide our kids. The third theme was around operations and sustainability. We've already talked about this, key positions missing in our district, I think, that we see every day, which causes us to be more reactive than we like to be. Our policies and procedures need to be clear and accessible. We need to keep working at identifying areas where we're missing the mark and be accountable to the improvement for those areas. Our district response team does a good job addressing security concerns and then talking through different scenarios. Our maintenance and building repairs are improving, but communication both, I think, to the maintenance department and then from the maintenance department back down to wherever the issue is coming from, that needs to be improved still. I think Chris and I heard it yesterday of just some issues that teachers are having, and then bring them to me still and not necessarily using our ticket system. So I think that's still something that we got to keep making sure that our teachers and staff members are doing. The idea of balancing college and career programming, we're doing that through our build, but how can we do that before our new building comes online? Our tech department does a good job addressing issues, and I was thinking about this the other day and talking to Wen and Carrie. Our tech department is often highlighted as a group that is very quick to solve issues, but it's a department of 5, right? Maybe 6, versus our maintenance department, which has 3 people in it, right? And there are a number of different tech issues, sure, around, but a building, we have 5 different buildings. At any moment, something can happen. So, just to realize that our tech department does a great job, but our maintenance department, I think, is stretched really thin. The idea of a district PTO, we've already met twice. We're going to keep working through that and try to figure out the best way forward there. And then intentional planning with curriculum aligned to operations. Actually, Wen kind of talked to me about that yesterday, and when there are certain themes that we're in our elementary curriculum, for example, in our literacy curriculum, why can't what we're serving at lunch be aligned to the theme that of whatever the EL program is? So I thought that was a good idea. Then theme 4 was communication and trust, hiring people that support our staff members. And I put it as like versus looking for gotcha moments, right? So people that we bring people on board to support all the great staff members that we have, and we're looking to help them and help them grow. Data, and just using data to support all the decisions that we're making. I've heard this over and over again about communication from administration and how critical it is to ensuring that the culture of the building is a positive one. We need improvement around a lot of our evening events with parents. There's a lot of low attendance at those, but things like the music program, on the other hand, is, there's a lot of people at that. AI protocols for use in schools, and then supporting families in all of our new programming. So when we bring on different programs and curriculums, how are we supporting not only our students and staff members, but how are we supporting our families as we're bringing those on? So that was a real high level, I think, overview of what the entry plan is going to highlight, good and bad. So that's where we're at so far. I don't know if anybody has any questions on that.
A lot of information.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Nothing particular, but appreciate all the information.
Likewise.
Okay. K2, the K2 safety, classroom safety task force update. So we've had our third meeting as a K2 group. We have been going through the protocols at each school when safety teams are called and when there's a crisis or those sorts of things. The feedback I got from this last meeting was that it was the best meeting that they've had. And basically, we got kind of through in the first two meetings what the real issue was, because we had to keep digging and digging and digging, trying to figure out, what exactly are we talking about. So we got there, and now we're starting to work on different actual events. So they're naming different things that could happen in the classroom, and then they're working together with the building administration, and then there's other staff members in the room, including BAs and TAs, a couple teachers, and then other support staff. They're working together to come up with a protocol so that all teachers will have this protocol and know exactly what to do. I think that we're making good headway with this group, and this is something that I think that you're going to see when both the K2 schools come with their school improvement plans. So it's something that they're looking to continue through next year and probably beyond next year. Just keeping a task force together between the two schools so that everybody's aligned and knows exactly what to do. So that's that. I don't know if anybody has a question about the safety task force.
Nope.
All right, and then the final updates around the Stacy HVAC project. We had a meeting this week. We picked out a designer. We had, I think we had 3 different designers, 3 architects. One of the architects didn't meet the deadline, so we was whittled down to 2. We went with, I forget the name of the group now. Helen Carl Architects, HKA. So our OPM, which is James Riestall, he's working with them to, they're going to have an engineer back on site at Stacy next week to go through the next steps. So that's where we are with that. It's, I don't know how far we're going to be able to get through the summer. This next phase is going to be able to tell us that. We're a little late in getting everything together, but I'm confident we're going to be able to get some things done. It's just, I'm not sure how much of it during the summer we're going to get done. So we're kind of a wait and see on that piece of it. And that's it. That's the update.
No questions? All right, thank you for the update. We'll move on to the report of the interim assistant superintendent for teaching and learning.
Sure. So I believe it was last meeting. There was a question I presented on iReady, and there was a question about the correlation between attendance data and iReady growth and performance that we were seeing. So I did some analysis and tried to find whether or not there was any correlation that we could say between both performance, which I'm measuring by national rank or national norm rankings, and growth for kids. And basically in both reading and in math, there's very limited connection to student performance of attendance, right? And so we see, if you look at the PowerPoint that's attached, when we start talking about mathematics, we do see a very small correlation or increase in both the attendance relationship and national norm percentages. So the data showed us that for every 1% more that a kid is in school, we can expect to see a 1% increase in national norms. It's not statistically significant. It's not even something that we can really say there's a correlation there. When we look at attendance and typical growth progress, so think about typical growth as the kids sit in front of you for 1 year, you would expect 1 year's worth of output in the 1 year. We're halfway through the school year, and so this is in relationship to they should be about 50% of the way towards their typical growth at this point. For every 1% increase on attendance, we're seeing a 0.38 increase in the typical growth. The good news is that it's positive. There's a positive correlation there, but it's not, we can't draw a conclusion that like, if kids come to school more, iReady will increase. It's not just about attendance, it's about something more that's happening. And so we need to look at other factors. We need to see what else is kind of going on here, which is something that we will kind of continue to unpack. Reading is basically the same. Basically, when you compare attendance and national norm percentages for reading, which is on the second slide there, we're saying every 1% increase for attendance, you can predict a 0.87 increase in national norms. Again, nothing crazy. It is really interesting when you look at attendance and typical growth. We actually see a very slight decrease. But when we look at the R squared value, which is what tells us if it's a strong correlation or not a strong correlation, we can say that there's a 0.05% variation that's explained by attendance. Again, not statistically significant, not something that we would like ever draw a conclusion to say when kids are in school, their iReady reading or math goes up there. So I think we have to continue to look at like what is it about students that are performing well on this one assessment that is potentially a predictor. Right now we don't have a strong one factor to kind of point at.
Questions or comments on that additional information?
Thanks for providing it.
Thank you. Definitely. Thank you for coming back with that information. Okay, we have a report of the school business administrator up next.
Yeah, I just have the personnel update shared in the link, and mostly it's a spring coaches hiring and some replacement. It looks slower at this time of the year, and but HR doesn't slow down. They have other things too, like leave requests to process, and we're still working on the digitalizing all the forms from the principals, and also we're like starting our handbook writing, HR handbook. So the goal is we have some draft document by the end of this year, after the negotiation, to include all the procedures in, and also we converted from our accounting system from the desktop version to the cloud, and that's a lot of technology advancement. It's a lot of work, going so far so good, and Zach and the town hall is very supportive at this point. We went through several troubleshooting and trainings, and there's some glitches, and they're just going to keep developing it in the next few releases. It's just one of the things that's behind the scenes nobody sees, and I just want to highlight it.
That's great. Thank you. The cool part about cloud stuff is the glitches will just disappear one day. So.
They said log off and log on. Some of the glitches will just disappear.
Some days you'll just log in one day, something will be different, but it'll be good. All right. Any questions there? I won't explain the bad parts about cloud. All right. So we'll move on to the consent agenda. Does everybody have anything that needs to pull out?
Oh, I'm not online. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I'm not online.
I see not. Okay. So the consent agenda tonight will include the following. There are 18 warrants in the amount of $1,139,280.18. The approval of minutes from the regular meeting on February 26, 2026, and the March 5th, 2026 budget meeting. Professional development, the amount of $4,754.78. And we also have 3 gifts in the amount of $14,250. Motion to accept the consent agenda. Motion by Megan, second by Derek. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. I just wanted to quickly call out these donors of the gifts. Mass Cultural Council gave money to Memorial in Brookside for, what's noted in here is a musical journey through the Caribbean. That's the name of the gift. And there's one also here for MHS Creative Experiences. And then J.S. Lim Foundation gave a sizable gift as well to the MHS Math and Science prizes. So thank you to those organizations for helping us out. Subcommittee updates. Are there any subcommittee updates?
Yes. So Labor Management met yesterday. As Craig had mentioned, just really pushing the ticketing system. Kind of the overview of some of the concerns. We had a significant amount of snow, and then recently some melting, so snow and ice. And just trying to how to better communicate to the building principals and get kind of that snow and ice removal, salt down on it. But obviously things like that take time to be activated to prevent any of the slippery spots. So it's brought up. I feel like the administration team will talk to Carlos and his team and talk to the building principals and do the best they can. But obviously this time of year is just a tough time, with especially the amount of snow we had. From there, some room temperature, some of our older facilities, buildings, just trying to, again, Carlos and his team chasing those, again, just put in the tickets, and so that way we know what's going on and can respond there. And then the only other one from the high school, and Carrie, you may have heard already from Craig, but math testing and just the concern. So the new math program has now hit the high school ranks, and this is they're seeing that dip, and the dip that Carrie has told us that we saw happen with the literacy program.
Valley of Despair.
Yeah, and so the high school is now seeing it. So if anybody were to hear that, as I'm listening, because Carrie had mentioned that before, and knowing that's a new program, I understood it. I wasn't like, oh my God, this is a new program. What did we do? As Mike said, it was that Valley of Despair. So we did hear that, but I felt like, again, that it's kind of expected, and we'll see that as teachers and staff and students get to understand and better work with that program, we'll see that improvement. So
Awesome.
That's what I get.
Thank you. Any other subcommittees meet recently? All right. We'll go to future agenda items next. What we have on there currently, obviously the ongoing HVAC project with Stacy. There is still the e-bike policy discussion that we need to get to as it gets warmer. We will see the calendar again for next school year. I still owe the committee the evaluation tool for the superintendent, and I also put on here through tonight's meeting, we'll discuss grade configuration for the high school at some point in the near future, and then also thank you to Michael for sending out a note to Next Level for a reimbursement rate presentation at some point as well. So does anybody have anything else to add to that list? All right, silence is it's good. It's a nice list so far. All right, so we can adjourn at this point. We have nothing left. I just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Michael, second by Brendan. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you very much. Good night.